sweet me at all on top the National Sports Festival wey no hold for the date wey dem be pick say dem go do am for the state. Philip-Shaibu na im tok dis one. Edo State Deputy Governor, Right Honourable Comrade Philip-Shaibu don yarn say belle no sweet am at all on top say National Sports Festival no hold for the December 3rd go reach 18th wey Presidential Task Force (PTF) on top COVID-19 protocols bin pick say dem go do am for dis year. Comrade Shaibu wey be chairman on top local organising committee (LOC) for the festival tell tori pipo dis one for Government House, Benin City. Im yarn say im dey wonder why dem go reopen other parts of the economy come put the 20th National Sports Festival on hold.
Well, the Edo 2020 National Sports Festival, we had a meeting last time with the Council of Sport at Asaba, and the council approved December 3rd to December 18 for the sports festival, subject to the approval of the Ministry of Sport and PTF, especially the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, because of the protocols that we need to observe in the games. You know, it was postponed as a result of the pandemic. And for us to have it this time, we also needed to follow all laid down protocols, both national and international protocol. And last week again, I think we had another meeting on a virtual meeting with the committee that was set up at Asaba and all the stakeholders, including the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, which I also participated. And they said as at that day that by Friday, which was the last Friday, 3 days ago, that they was going to reach us on what they agreed. And as I speak to you, no correspondent from Abuja on the National Sports Festival, whether it's still going to hold on the 3rd of December, which is very close to 18th. But what I've observed is that everything seems to everything seems to be hinged on the approval of the Presidential Task Force of COVID-19. And for me, I see that we need to get down from our high heavens. We seem to have a PTF that is just up there, and it's not connecting to the ground, to some of us at the ground level. Because when you check the activities up there and we are down here, there seems not to be synergy, because it's like what they see in Abuja is completely different from what we see in our various states. I don't want to believe that the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 now is just there to be relevant, so that they will just continue to be relevant. That is what my feelings is telling me, but I pray that they are not just there to be relevant. They're actually doing the work they are supposed to do, because we need to have data. We need to actually check what is happening at the grassroots for us to be able to identify and determine what we need to do. I agree that the issue of health is something we have to take seriously, and that is why we supported when it was postponed, though it was to our disadvantage, 2 days to a tournament, and you just announce that the tournament is postponed. It's not something that any state will wish for. But the subsequent meetings is showing that I think the Presidential Task Force is just trying to be relevant. And you know what that means. They want to just remain there forever as against doing the work. That is what my feeling tells me. And they need to come down from their high heavens and come to our level so that they will be able to be on the same page. Because you are inching everything on coronavirus. I agree that we must be careful, but we need to have data. Data should drive our process. We did election in Edo State. We have done a lot of activity in Edo State. And we aggressively pursue, we screened we tested in Edo State. So if we have to do anything, I think PTF should come to our level. For instance, how can PTF approve that we can now start combat sports? The same PTF approved that the NYC orientation camps should be open. The same PTF approved that churches, mosques, we can all go to mosques, we can all go to churches. All the marketplaces are open. And you say we should not still have our people gathered. Now, this is sport. Sport is such that we can control the crowd that comes to the stadium. We have facility to say, okay, a stadium that can take 15,000, we can bring 2,000, 3,000 people, and they'll be spaced. You understand? So you can, if you look at some approval that PTA have given, and you just oppose it with certain other thing, you discover that there's gap, and those gaps are the one giving me that feeling that they just want to be there to be relevant. And the games are not what you just wake up overnight and say, athletes, go into the vehicle, let's go. There must be at least minimum of 4 weeks, or at least if 4 weeks or 2 weeks to give notices. You should be able to camp your athletes at least for 10 days to be able to have team spirit. So it's like there's no sportsman or woman in PTF to understand what sports actually entails and what level you need to go in preparing for this sporting activity. And also, I'm listening to the minister recently and even the permanent secretary. I can see the frustration that they also have. Because, see, our young men and women are too idle. And we need to engage them. And sport is one of those fundamentals that we must look at. So that we stop lamenting our Super Eagles playing 4-4 and going to draw with low-rated Sierra Leonean team. Definitely you have more of the 4-4, you have more of the 0-0 with low-rated countries that are not up to Nigeria in terms of football when we put in this kind of attitude towards sports.
Comrade Shaibu still come here and say e go better make government provide ogbonge incentives for sportsmen and women for the country wey no dey do anything since wey dis yamayama disease carry waka enter Naija. E yarn say Edo State don ready gidigba to host all the games for the festival sake of say dem get all the facilities and manpower wey dem go use, even as dem go still make sure say dem follow all the COVID-19 protocols wey PTF don put for ground.
We are ready in terms of facility, we are ready in terms of manpower, we are even ready in terms of the COVID-19 protocols. We are ready. And what we are saying that, for instance, the Super Eagles match, it took the grace of God for us to be able to calm our those indigent, the young men and women and others that want to watch the match. We want to take the full benefit of hosting the National Sport Festival. So whatever they want to do in Abuja, they should please do it with human face, and they should also look at our own peculiar situation. They should not look at what is happening in Europe, what is happening in the United States of America. They should look at our weather, they should look at our own climate, look at the data, and from those data analysis of Nigeria, not data analysis of Europe, data analysis of United States of America. They should check our own Nigerian data and advise us. They should also remember that when you are canceling an event, it must go with a cost. Throughout this year, sporting activities have been at standstill, courtesy of PTF and the pandemic. And there must be a stimulus package for clubs and owners of clubs. If you are canceling all sporting activity, don't forget that people are employed, are engaged to participate in all, whether football, handball, basketball. There are teams, and they are being engaged. People are engaged. So PTF should also go beyond telling us to wear our masks, to also go and activate costs of not having these activities. You cancel Edo 2020 2 days to the tournament after giving us approval that the tournament will not be postponed. Fine. We need to we need to take care of our health, and we agree. But it must not go without a cost. And since then, all football teams have been at home. All handball, all sporting activity have been at standstill. Those people must earn a living. So PTF should also calculate that in their own program to send various clubs a stimulus package to be able to augment those idle time that they didn't work, because those people are eating, they are feeding. So it's not just about we will not do anything. It's not about cancel. It's not about don't do. It's about, yes, we agree, we are not going to do. But you also have to know that people are earning a living out of not engaging in those activities. And those activities should be paid for. So if you are canceling a game, there must be a cost attached to it. Don't just cancel it with impunity and just feeling we cancel and nothing will happen.
This one are the ogbonge information we carry come give una on top inside Edo today. As Philip-Shaibu don yarn say Bele no sweet am at all on top the National Sports Festival wey no hold for the dates wey dem be pick say dem go do am for the state. Make una sabi say na TMC TV na im carry this ogbonge informate. They come give una. My name na Oyiza Aboriogun from Benin.